Hello everybody, my name is Ensminger. Thank you for being here today. I am supposed to give a speech on making you guys believe or be persuaded on a certain topic of my choosing. Today I have chosen to discuss the importance of soldier care in the military. I have been in the military for 10 years now. I joined in 2003 when I was 18. I joined the 77th Aviation Brigade, where I have been the Human Resources Sergeant for 9 years and 11 months. Recently, I was transferred to Fort Chaffee, Arkansas, where I received my staff sergeant, and I still do the same functions that I did at Camp Robinson in Fort Chaffee. I'm still the Human Resources Sergeant. The main important focus that I want to discuss today is soldier care and the responsibilities that I do on a day-to-day basis for my soldiers. There are annual requirements that have to be done every single year, and it's extremely important that these soldiers do it to ensure that their information is up-to-date and accurate. Some of the annual requirements include a birth month review that the soldiers have to come in and see me for in order to update their personal information and update their home of record, their addresses, their phone numbers, just pertinent information that we would need in order to contact the soldier if they were to go to a state mission or be needed to perform a certain job at any given hour of the day or night. Another annual requirement for the military soldiers in my unit is a physical health assessment. This physical health assessment has to be done every year to ensure that the soldiers stay medically ready for deployments. I am extremely involved in the medical readiness process for my soldiers, not only at aviation, where there were 350 soldiers I was having to work with, but also in Fort Chaffee now with the soldiers that I handle there. The physical health assessment determines whether or not the soldier can stay in the military, whether they're fit or not fit. It is extremely critically important to ensure that the soldiers are physically fit for deployment, which is where a lot of my functions as an S1 come in. There are several processes in the medical field that I have to ensure happen to make sure that the soldiers are entitled to compensation that they deserve for getting hurt on active duty. During these processes, the soldier can bring in records, documentation from the doctor, proving that they were injured, and if they're injured, they can get a line of duty report. This line of duty report shows the Army that yes, the soldier was injured while on active duty, or no, they weren't. If the soldier was injured going home from drill or coming to work from home, they could be entitled to an LOD. If the soldier doesn't get an LOD, later on down the road is critical because they won't get the compensation that somebody who was hurt on active duty would have received. A lot of people think I don't need a line of duty report because I can just take all my records to the VA and they'll compensate me there. But soldiers need to know that not only can they receive VA compensation, but they can also receive active duty compensation. So my job is extremely critical for these soldiers to know that if they're injured on active duty, they can receive active duty compensation as well as VA compensation. Soldiers who are injured go to the TMC or they go to a local hospital where they receive the paperwork and they bring it back to me. They can be given a permanent profile, which means it's permanently noted from the Army that they can't do a certain requirement on the PT test. They wouldn't be able to run, or they wouldn't be able to do the sit-ups or the push-ups, or they can't wear a Kevlar, they can't wear their uniform for certain hours of the day, they can't ride in tactical vehicles. There are several requirements of the profile that they could be limited from or not limited from. So knowing the illness or the disease that they have determines the requirements of what they can still do or what they can't. They can be given a temporary profile, which means for a certain amount of days they can't do these requirements, but then at the end of that temporary profile it will expire and they'll have to go back to their regular military duties. Once this temporary profile expires, they go to the Fitness for Duty Board, which is where they go before a whole bunch of state surgeons, and the state surgeons review the records and they ask the soldiers a whole bunch of questions, and the soldier will come out of the Fit for Duty Board either fit for retention or unfit for retention. If they're found fit for retention, then they stay in the military. If they're found unfit for retention, they either go to a medical evaluation board, meaning that they have a line of duty on file, or they go to a physical evaluation board, which means that they don't have an LOD on file. If they go to a physical evaluation board, it means that they will not receive compensation from the Army for the illnesses that they have, because obviously they don't have a line of duty. If they have a line of duty, they go to medical evaluation board, and they will eventually be entitled to more active Army compensation. So what soldiers need to know, and what is important for me to get over to the soldier and let them know, is that if they do go to an MEB and they receive 30% or more, they can retire at 15 years and not have to go the entire 20 years to actually retire and get all those retirement benefits. So with this being said, I would hope that I have given you a brief overview of some of the things that I do on a day-to-day basis to ensure that the soldiers are entitled to the benefits that they should get if they're injured during military duty, or if they're not injured during military duty, I still have to get them through the processes so that they can discharge and know exactly what they're entitled to from the VA. With that being said, that concludes